I'm very, very methodical in what I do, so I'm counting calories all the time. I'm making sure that I get enough food in my system, getting enough energy in my body so that I can fuel my workouts. So I'm working things out with things like Schofield equations, trying to work out my exact basal metabolic rate, how many calories my body needs, because I know that I need that to help myself grow and to get the results I need. And then on top of that, I'm going to need fuel to fuel my workouts. And then on top of that, I'm going to need fuel to fuel my recovery. And then I'm going to need a little bit again to try and get a little bit more muscle size on my body after that. So we're talking maybe, say, 4,000 calories, almost 4,300 I went up to in the off season there, going right through that strongman training phase, which was way back in February there. And it's all carbohydrates. I mean, it's all high carb, really, really high carb. I mean, almost 60-70% of my diet was coming from good, wholesome, clean carbohydrate sources, things like porridge oats, brown rice, sweet potatoes. I was eating a lot of wholemeal pastas, brown rice, getting tons and tons and tons of that in there. And the protein was just coming in as a supplement next to the meal, just to make sure that I was keeping the protein synthesis pathway ticking over. But when you're eating that many calories, you can't help but build your muscle on your frame because you're triggering that synthesis all the time. Moving on towards my pre-contest training, I had to come down a little bit in the calories because you can't eat 4,200 calories, especially when you're only on stage at 80 kilograms and you're weighing 93 kilo in off season. So something's got to give. This is my my peak week, if you like, my week where I'm trying to get myself that little bit better in the competition on stage. So what we do in this last week is we manipulate the macronutrients a little bit around, manipulate the water around so they can just peak on stage. So it is a carb depletion and a carb loading program that with a little bit of a difference, because most guys, when they go for these carb depletes and carb loads, they just get the plans off of Joe Blogs from the gym, the big guy there, and they don't base it on anything. And this is where they all go wrong, or they try things like crap loading, which has got loads of sodium in it and stuff like that, and they don't think about the potassium and they don't think about the water. So this has been calculated to a T. So all I've done here is I've dropped the carbs down to a point for a few days, and then I'm going to load them back up for a few days after that. Now, it's important to remember that however many days it takes you to deplete is going to take you at least as many days to fill back up again as well. In the early stages of carb loading, your body's glycogen storing enzymes, the hexokinases, things like that, are hypersensitive to glucose. So you can fire in tons of carbs initially after that, but it sort of slows down a little bit. So it's what you would call a backloading program. So we put in a lot of carbs in at the front end of the loading plan, and then we're going to taper it off after that. And it's because they're hypersensitive and we need to get a lot of carbs in the period to replace what's lost. It's got to be all high glyceme and then tailoring it down. And then we've got to consider our water. So what we're doing with the water is carbs are stored with water, so it's got to go hand in hand. If you have more carbs, you need more water. So water is really high, and it's going to go be calculated next to my carbs, and it's going to come all the way back and down just like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing for my plan for the last final week. It's a lot of work, but definitely worth it.